Hey, so it is November 6th. Today's an important day for me, because today marks 2 months of sobriety for me. And when I got up this morning, it felt a lot different to me than any other time that I've reached a 2-month mark. It's a little scary because it's a day after 2 months and a day after I broke. And admitting that I broke is not an easy thing. But in that breaking, I was able to ask for help. I had to ask for help. For the first time in my life, I actually asked for help. I didn't intimate that I needed help. I didn't pretend I didn't need help. I didn't just try to fix everything by myself again. I asked for help. And that hurt me badly. Because what happened 2 months and 1 day ago was I asked for help without actually asking for it. My wife, who's not going to be my wife for much longer, evidently, she left me, she left the house in April. But the reality is she left me in October of last year. And 2 months and 1 day ago, I reached out to her and I used issues with the motorcycle as an excuse to reach out, to try to connect. We were married almost 24 years. May would have been 24 years. She left the house in April, so it's been hard. So anyhow, I reached out and I used the issues with the motorcycle as an excuse to reach out, to try to reconnect, and to let her know that I was having a really rough time. But turns out she either didn't hear me asking for help or chose to ignore it, which I don't blame her for that. I understand. But that hurt, and it hurt really, really, really badly, like deep down in my heart and my soul. And I promised myself that I wouldn't unalive myself. So I had to hold that promise. Because I promised myself, I promised my kids, I promised my wife that I would not do that. And so instead I went to my old fallback of drinking. And you drink to delete emotions, or I did, tamp them down, forget. So I started doing that, and then unfortunately, like so many other times in my life, that got the better of me. I'm at work, so bear with me, but that got the better of me. And I still had to hold on to the promises that I made to not unalive myself. But in my sick, diseased, alcohol-ridden mind, going out on a motorcycle was okay. And I was not 100%. When I say not 100%, I mean not 100% emotionally, physically, in so many different ways. But that way, I wasn't unaliving myself. If something were to happen, well, I guess that's just fate, right? And I had poured my heart and soul into that motorcycle, because that's what I've been doing for a couple of months, just trying to get my head around things. It's a way for me to escape without drinking. But I took that love and care, everything else that I put into that, and I got onto it, and I went for a ride. And on my ride, I went and I got more alcohol. Because, why not? So I did that. And then at a certain point, I realized that there was something going on in my head that I was hiding from. In my heart, my soul. And I stopped at my brother's house. And when I stopped at my brother's house, I felt so guilty showing up. So I sat in his driveway for probably 10-15 minutes. And I never went in. And eventually, my diseased brain convinced me that I had been out riding for however long I had been riding with no problem. So for me to get home should also not be a problem. And I think that was my heart telling me that it was broken and that it didn't really matter anymore. Nothing really mattered anymore. So got back on the bike and I started riding again, ostensibly to get home. And then got to a light where I had to make a left. And I don't know if I misjudged it, the oncoming traffic, or if they were going a lot faster than they should have been, or if the light hadn't been changing the way I thought it had been. I don't honestly know what was going through my head, but I went and I made the left, and the next thing I know, I hear a crunch. And right after that, I'm on the ground. Got up, tried to pick the motorcycle up. I couldn't do it, but I did shut it off because I was concerned that it was going to start a fire. I didn't know who had hit me, how I had been hit, where I had been hit. I had no idea. I guess I should mention I was riding with a t-shirt and no helmet. So when I got up, I was less than a foot away from a car. So, and my left side was hurting. So I made some assumptions in the moment. And I went over to the car that was closest to me and I asked them if they were all right. Because I assumed that either I had hit them or they had hit me. Then I called my brother, the same brother that I couldn't go in and ask for a ride home from. And he came out. But I was so addled, I was so out of my mind, I didn't even recognize him. And then that was probably one of the worst nights of my life. was never actually arrested then. That came later. But my brother was involved. My dad was involved. And I yelled at both of them. I treated them horribly. That much I remember. So the next day is the day that I decided that I needed help. I needed help, and I didn't know who to call. I didn't know how to ask. I didn't know. So I started looking it up, doing the best I could. I made, I don't know how many phone calls that day. 2 months ago, the 6th, September the 6th. I have no idea how many calls I made. But I ended up on an AA meeting online, and I started the process of getting into an intensive outpatient program. And I asked for a lot of help. And I felt ashamed and guilty and just terrible all over asking for that help. Because I had to do it in a way that was very direct. I had to say, look, I need help. I couldn't pretend like I did with Heather the day before, that, no, I'm asking you for help without asking you for help. I actually had to do it. And that broke my soul. Just what was left, it shattered, it broke. And but here I am now, 2 months out from that. And for the first time in my life, I am proud of me. I'm proud of what I've accomplished over the last 60 days. 62 days. And I hope I can keep doing it. One of the things that's really been hard for me for the past I don't know how many years is seeing beauty in things, joy in things, feeling gratitude for things. So one of my goals has been once a day to try to find something beautiful and something to be grateful for. Today, it was the sunrise that was beautiful, and it is 2 months of sobriety that I am grateful for the lessons I've learned. So, I think that'll do it for today, at least for now. I think I'm going to try doing this a little bit more often, just so that way maybe one day my kids can look at this if they wanted to, and maybe they can see the journey I'm on, because right now it's hard to see that from the outside, and I understand that. Maybe Heather can see this one day, and maybe. I still love her with all of my heart. And I care for her and the kids so much. And I know why they can't believe in me, can't trust me. And that hurts, but that's on me. So, anyhow, yeah, that's it for now.